All right. So, hello everybody. Welcome to the Gunpowder Beauty YouTube channel. Today it is Memorial Day, and I am fortunate enough to have a really awesome godmother who would love to be on YouTube and have a chat about all the things that kind of piss us off and why this day is so important to a lot of people. And I am very thankful that she decided to come join me for this chat today. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. You know about today and my issues based on my crazy Facebook video.
Well, that's okay. That's why it's good to be able to have a conversation with other people who are like-minded and be like, I know that I can't be there face to face, but this is kind of the next best thing. We're face to face in a way, hopefully. Let's see.
Let can we get to the reason why we're having this conversation is because of my video that I posted and it didn't come out right because my opinions on crazy people and versus what today actually means.
I think you're cutting out.
Drag.
Yeah, hold on.
Probably.
That's all right. It's okay. We just go with it. Sometimes there's technical difficulties. Some days it goes smoothly. It's YouTube, so not everything is going to be not everything's going to go smooth. We just go with the flow. So, how about you tell everybody out there on YouTube land what exactly was the conversation on Facebook about?
My conversation today was that it was about the day itself and what it means to me, but what it should mean, in my opinion, to everyone. And that opinion was, it doesn't matter black, white, or purple with pink polka dots, or you're Irish, or you're Asian, or you're anything. That today means that the reason you get to act, stand up, have your protest, try to take away my Second Amendment rights because you don't understand that we're a constitutional republic and not a democracy is because men and women for generations have died to give you that right to think that. Somehow I just lost you, Jess.
No, I set my phone down. I'm not going to make everybody look at the top of my ceiling while I try to do some stuff. I'm still here, though.
So what I was trying to make today on my videos was, I personally have a family member who didn't come back from Nam. Somebody that I never got to know. Somebody who never got to know me or know my children or my brother's children or there's my cousins or their children. And that's, that's not it. It goes back even farther than that. We can go back hundreds of generations, and every child that's out there protesting gun rights, or every Antifa member, or they have a family member who died for their right to do this. And so my point today is, this is not about going shopping. It's not about barbecuing. It's not about partying. Those people who died for your mere existence, for the fact that you can do this stuff like boys putting on makeup or wearing dresses or gender identity issues, which I have no idea what the hell that is. Just all of it, like gun rights. kids shooting up schools. I don't understand this either. I mean, I grew up in an era where we had guns and gun racks in our pickups because we'd leave school and go hunting. So I don't understand this. Not once did anybody shoot up my school ever, or even think about shooting up a school. So the fact that these people get to argue, protest, and try to take away rights and free tuition are all because somebody actually died to give them that right to say this insane, crazy shit, in my opinion. That's what my video was about.
That's sadly where a lot of people forget what this day is about. I mean, we wouldn't be able to sit there and do a lot of the things that we do, and a lot of people take for granted, if these people hadn't paid the ultimate sacrifice. And it's really sad that that's the world that we live in, where it's easy to forget, and you can just sit there and be like, oh, well, it's about, cooking out, going to the lake, drinking beer, and, getting stoned off your butt, if that's what you like to do. No. It's great to be able to drink beer and hang out at the lake, barbecue, and do all of those things. But like you were saying in your video, it takes 10 seconds to sit there and think about those that aren't with us. They didn't make it back home. If they did make it back home, it wasn't, still breathing. Today is about those that paid the ultimate sacrifice. They sat there and fought for our freedoms. And I really wish that a lot of people would kind of just get their head out of their butts and understand that, yeah, just because you can say something that's disrespectful to a veteran or to those that have died fighting for our country doesn't mean you should. Yeah, you have the freedom to say and do what you want, but it doesn't make it the right thing to do. And when you sit there and you look at how the hell this world is going, you really have to wonder where in the hell it is that we messed up in life, that we've got kids that aren't even old enough to vote trying to take away our Second Amendment right. We've got people out there that are more willing to go kill a baby and have no qualms about it, go get an abortion, but when a sick and twisted kid sits there and grabs a gun and goes shoots up a school, that's when kids' lives matter to you. People seriously need to pick one or the other. Either kids' lives matter all around the board, or it's just when it's convenient. Because it's just when it's convenient crap doesn't fly with me. You're either going to be worried about kids' lives and all of kids' lives, or none at all. And I know that probably sounds really heartless to say, but I'm not going to feel bad that I don't feel sorry for the fucking hypocrites. You can sit there and blast your nonsense, stupid shit about kids' lives matter, but you're going to sit there and vote for pro-choice. The girl sat there and slept with too many guys, so that's her form of birth control. That is not how shit works. And the people that sit there and disrespect our veterans that are here, that fucking came back alive, I really wish that we could just pack up all these people that have no fucking respect for our veterans or those that lost their lives and make them go fight for the country that they like to sit there and talk so much shit about.
I'm in exact agreement there, Jess. Honestly, I think now, and I hate to say it, I really do, because there are so many kids out there that are really smart. But do you believe the drugs that these parents put their kids on so they didn't have to deal with them because they all had AH or whatever when they're 4 or 5 years old?
It's funny that you say that, because that's been a topic on a lot of discussion chats of the prescriptions that are being pushed on these kids. And a lot of people are wondering why so many kids are starting to shoot up schools. Look at how many freaking chemicals are in some of the shit that we're giving our kids. And because this one has a side effect, now you have to have this pill along with it, and well, that one has side effects.
This one
now
to
you've got
counteract the side effects.
Yeah, and so what was supposed to be one pill that's going to this kid to fix whatever problem it is, now you've got this kid on 7 different types of medicines, and you're wondering why they've got a freaking screw loose.
But the problem was, Jesse, it was never they had a problem. It suddenly became a boy issue. Think back to it. I mean, Shoal's 27 years old. When he was in preschool, he wasn't even in kindergarten yet. His best friend was a only child, and his mother said, "Oh, he needs to be on Ritalin because he has ADHD." And so she put him on this drug. Okay, this is, I don't know, when was this? Back in the 90s. Okay, somewhere back in the 90s. This kid, he used to come over, play in the sandbox, jump on the trampoline. All of a sudden went from being an active young male child to all he wanted to do was draw on the patio with chalk. He didn't want to play. He didn't want to be a young boy and play after he started taking these drugs.
Yeah.
So what has he become now? I don't know, because my kid didn't want to play with him anymore. Because a young, virile son who was supposed to play, who was supposed to get into scuffles, who was supposed to be dirty. So I didn't put, and I don't know what became of the one that went on drugs. But I could just about bet he's probably on more drugs now to counteract the drugs he was on, because some kind of depressant, non-social something. I don't know, but we can go that far back. You want to go back now to taking away the manly of our men? We can go back that far to where they wanted to put our young, very young sons on drugs, take away from them their virility, their ability to be young men, to get dirty, to play, to get into scuffles, to have a fight. And then when these men come to age, when they come to age and they don't understand what's going on, and they're angry and they're violent and they start shooting people. Oh, because the other thing is, here's the other difference. I mean, you're my daughter. I didn't give birth to you, but you are my daughter. You've been my daughter since you were 4 years old. So the other thing that's missing in life is, I hear all this stuff about bullying. Stop the bullying. You know what? We didn't have that in my era. You know what we did in my era? We whooped each other's asses. We got a physical fist fight. And the thing is, generally, at the end of it, we were friends. No parents got involved. The school didn't get involved. Nobody got involved. You just got into a damn fight with your friends around. Nobody else jumped in either. It was you and that one person. There was no gang affiliated whatever involved. Your friends didn't jump in. They just watched. You beat the hell out of each other, and by the next day you were best friends. It was over. Done. Resolved.
Now I can jump in on that, because my freshman year I ended up getting in a fight with a girl at our preseason pep rally, and we had both gotten a ticket for citing a riot at the school, but it was only the two of us, and to this day we're still good friends. And that's part of the problem
back in my day. Yeah. Back in my day, you didn't get a ticket. No cop beat the hell out of each other, and that was it. It was over. It was done.
Exactly. Unfortunately, back when I was in high school, we had a school resource officer that was there all the time, so we didn't really get away with a lot of crap. But you best believe if I hit somebody over the face with textbook, I was getting in-school suspension or
I
some
got in
BS like
school
that.
suspension. I got paddled. I got paddled. I got whacked. I mean, of course, this was the day where you could actually get paddled by your principal. Of course, today, you know, if you whoop a child, you're...
Well, no, they still have schools that the parents have to sign a release form saying that they can get a whooping at school, which a lot of parents don't do. And unfortunately, a lot of parents out there, especially my generation, which is, it kind of separates me from the rest of the millennials, because I'm a big fan of whooping an ass. You sit there and act up, you're going to know what a pop stick is, just for the simple fact that I'm not waiting until you're grown to start disciplining my kids. I'm not waiting for the, justice system or something to take care of my kids' problems. That's where it starts. As me, as the parent, I'm the one who has to teach my kids what's right and wrong. And when you do something wrong, there are consequences to your actions. Unfortunately, a lot of millennials do not see it that way, and they'd rather be their kid's best friend, or, well, I want my kids to like me. It's not your fucking job to have your kids like you. If your kids freaking like you, you're not doing your job. You are failing your children as their parent. I don't like it when my kids like me all the time, because then they start acting all whiny and bitchy, and no, I can't do that. My kids will get upset with me. They do get grounded.
Jess, 27-year-old son, 27 years old. He does not always like me because I am still not his friend. He can go out and make fucking friends, but I am always his mother.
Yeah, I'm your parent first.
This. I know this is going. Wait, I know this is going on public site, but I can tell you, when your old son just does the extreme stupidity, crazy, and you know this, Jess, I have told him I should have swallowed you because you are a waste of my life.
He's one of those special cases.
It bothers him.
He's one of those special cases.
But he's not.
But in his
he's not special. He does.
I did drop him on his head as a kid, so there is that.
You did.
I didn't drop Shay on his head, so I will take some responsibility for his specialness, because he did land on the concrete pretty hard that day.
I know. I remember that was the day I had my wisdom teeth extracted and I was on drugs.
But he went to college.
And I let you.
He did go to college.
I let you take care of that child. Well, you know what? That's the problem. He did go to college. And he did make the dean's list times. And he did graduate with honors. Because when he came out of college, even though he went to a very conservative college, we won't talk about that college because we won't name it because I don't want to get sued.
Right.
He still came out of that college very liberalized. Very liberalized. I will never forget. It was right after he graduated. The last election, he was going to vote for Bernie Sanders.
I wouldn't admit that. But
well, I did.
It's okay.
I did.
It's okay.
But
you can't always judge kids by their parents, okay? Or you can't always judge parents by their kids. That's all we're saying. Sometimes it's the kids.
Hey, at least he didn't vote for the vagina. Okay? He didn't vote for the vagina. So let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, we have to count our blessings where we get them. Yeah, I didn't vote for the twat either, so.
Okay. So right after that, but I don't want to get off topic, but I am going to get off topic for a moment because I have a cousin that was bragging on Facebook about the fact that she took her children to witness her voting for the first president ever. And she specifically asked me not to comment on her Facebook page because, and you know what I did? I said, oh, so you took your children to witness for a vagina. You made your children witness you voting for a sex but not necessarily the best candidate, but only because she had a vagina. I'm concerned about this.
Well, and that's what irritated me with a lot of
Okay,
the
so,
people that were voting for her is just because of what's between her legs,
okay.
not her policies or where her stand is. It's because she's a female.
What she had already fucking done. Oh, I said, I'm sorry. I saw that word on Facebook, YouTube.
That's okay.
Not for what she had.
I can put this as a restricted.
Not for what
I've already
she had
dropped the 102,
done,
so it's okay.
And criminal. Okay, so but anyways, so let's get back to the child who was gonna vote for Bernie. And all I can think about when I hear that name is Weekend at Bernie. You know, so I'm thinking of this dead guy being dragged across the beach. But anyways, we had a job, right? My 27-year-old had to get a job. And the first time he had this full-time job, he comes down and he goes, my paycheck isn't right. We're like, well, what's your paycheck? So we sat down with him and explained to him the tax system. And explained to him where all the money came missing from what he had calculated for taxes. You know what? He didn't like Bernie no more. He wasn't about all that free shit. He wasn't about all that money going out of his taxes to pay for somebody else that he was working for. It was a total 190 once he got into the world. Yeah, that was free entertainment. That's the only way I can put that.
Well, I'm going to go back through the chat real quick because a lot of people have been commenting. Hold on. Let me go find it. Where's it at? Rich White put, that depends on how you choose to look at it. In my family, we treated Memorial Day as a wake for those that were lost. We choose to look at the good and celebrate their lives and not mourn their deaths. That's actually a good way to look at it, is you celebrate their lives. But going back on the pills, Rich White... Hold on. Rich White said, remember when they found the side effects of the pills that was making boys grow boobs?
Yes, I do remember that. Which was actually the good one. So,
yeah.
Go back to that.
And Calaveras,
you know what?
I did accidentally drop Shoal. I didn't intentionally do it, but he was in a stroller and I totally tumped that bitch over.
Okay, it was an umbrella stroller. We're talking back in the 90s. So if you don't know what an umbrella stroller is, it's one of those little bitty folding ones. And actually, Jesse's mom was supposed to be watching Shoal while I was recovering on drugs from anesthesia. But Jesse's pushing Shoal up and down the sidewalk, and the sidewalk was not level, had a big crack in it. And Jessie hit the crack, and she didn't have Shoal strapped into the stroller. So when she hit the crack, my child flew out and busted his head open. So, you know, I mean, it was okay other than the fact that I had to yell at Jessie, and I don't know, what were you, 5, 6 years old at that time?
Something like that. Yeah, he didn't die, but, you know, he did go to college. But, you know, I did seriously screw that kid up with that head to the concrete move.
I don't think you screwed him up.
Oh, I do.
Shoal's just Shoal.
I've hung out with him.
Different.
I've hung out with him. He's totally screwed up. It's all my fault.
Shoal is a tad bit anal. Shoal's a tad bit anal retentive.
Oh, he's definitely
anal retentive, but
yeah. Every time someone says that someone's anal, I just start laughing. So I'm trying not to use that word. It makes me laugh.
Well, you know, most very.
All right.
most very brilliant people are somewhat dysfunctional.
Yeah, most people are a little anal about something. I'm scared to look at
Like
my
I'm
chat.
anal about, hey, look, I'm anal about Memorial Day. So,
Well,
but back to the guy who says they choose to celebrate today,
mhm.
the death of people today. You know, he's right. Whoever that person is, you're right. I'm celebrating the death of my uncle that I never got to know. The uncle that never got to know me, my siblings, my cousins, their children, my brother's children. Uncle Rick could have had a full life, and he didn't. He never got it. He went straight to Vietnam, and he never came home. And I'm going to say this because, and I know that when this video hits Facebook and my mother sees it, she's going to show it to my dad, and that's kind of going to be a rough situation. My uncle didn't just die in Nam. There are a lot of guys who didn't just die. You don't just get shot in the head and it's over. You don't just get shot in the heart and it's over. You don't just get 15 bullet holes in you and it's over. My uncle landed on these stakes that they were poisonous stakes. And it took our family years to find this out. He landed on this stake that was poisonous and he got sent to the hospital. Instead of them sending him home, they would get him well with antibiotics and send him back to the front line. Then they would send him back to the hospital. Then they would send him back to the front line. Then they would send him back to the hospital. Then they would send him back to the front line. Then he finally died. And we don't know to this day how many times that actually happened. So he didn't just die. He died a painful, morbid death, going back and back and back and fighting when he should have never been fighting for my existence, for your existence. And he's not the only one who went through this. So there are lots and lots of men who got hurt in many different ways in Nam, who kept getting sent back out on the front lines to fight for us and didn't get to come home until they just freaking died. That's why today is so important to me. Because he fought with everything he had. Everything. Not just a moment and it was over. He kept going back when he should have never went back. But he did. And he's gone. He never even got the chance to have his own family. That's what today means to me. And I know there are thousands and thousands of families out there that have the same experience. And Jesse, you're quiet. You're too quiet.
I'm just. That's a lot to kind of comprehend. I don't know a lot of people out there that really understand what that is. And to know that there's soldiers out there who you continue to fight. You continue to get up, bandages on, whether you've been poisoned, stabbed, shot, and you continue to fight for a country. It's a lot. And to have people just be so damn disrespectful for those that have something to fight for. These guys have families, they have parents, they have wives, they have wives that are pregnant and they may never see their kids be born or be able to hold their kids, and they're fighting for our country. And to go through all of that, to have people in this country that just have no respect, freaking hate them for what they do, it's a little emotional. It's a little fucked up.
It's a little shitty. It's not a little shitty. It's a lot
It's
shitty.
a lot.
It's a lot shitty. You know, the thing is, I posted the other day, when I posted the pictures of my Uncle Rick on Facebook, and one of my cousins responded that he had letters. I said, you know, but the thing is, I get to look at Uncle Rick every day because Shay looks just like Rick. I don't think my grandmother, if she was alive, would be able to handle the fact. I don't know if she would be able to look at Shay and accept him for the fact that he looks just like her dead son. So I get Rick. I give him my life every day because I have to look at him because my son looks just like him.
Yeah.
And, you know, neither one of my sons got to serve because they were big old boys with both of them half blind, but it has no effect on the fact that these kids, Jesse, they're parents. They're parents like this David Hogg freak. I mean, oh, I would love to have a one-on-one come to Jesus meeting with that little boy because he would not walk out from being with me without his ass being on fire. I would put my big old fat ass on him and I'd beat the hell out of his bare ass. It's.
And I know you do it. That's the sad part.
Oh, you know I would because you remember the times I did to you.
Yeah, it's a lot. A lot, but every ass whooping I ever got, I deserve.
I won't even. I just don't. I mean, this whole, and this comes back to the fact. Understand that we are a constitutional republic. We're not a democracy. But somehow this country has come to this point that everyone thinks we're a democracy, and it's not how our country was founded. And I'm sorry if now you're so butthurt that you need like gallons of preparation H because you just don't understand and you think you're going to change it. I mean, this is that pry it out of my cold dead hands because you will kill me. I'm not giving up my fucking guns. Oh, I said that word again. Sorry.
Listen. This is already going to be an age restricted, so just say what you want and don't worry about filter. I don't know any conversation that you and I have that have a filter, so we're good.
Yeah, you should have been already pre-advised of that. No, it just pisses me off. I mean, it pisses me off to no end that these people keep doing this when loved ones, people I love, somebody who's never even got to have kids, never got to be married, never had a chance to do anything in his life. I mean, I don't know how old Rick was when he died. He could have been 18 or 19. I don't even think he was 20 years old when Rick died. He never got to experience, others got to experience. I mean, Rick was the baby. Jack was the oldest, then my dad, then Rick. They wouldn't take Jack because he was colorblind. They wouldn't take my dad because he was blind and had flat feet. So Rick was the one who got chosen. Rick got to go. But Rick is the one who also never came back. And, you know, my family, almost like a top secret thing. Nobody talked about him. It was always hush-hush because Grandma didn't want to talk about it. But Grandma had a room. Rick's room was when he left for Vietnam and it never got touched. I moved into the new home. Grandma created Rick a brand new room and it never got touched. It was Rick's room, Rick's stuff, Rick's. But nobody talked about it. Well, you know what? I want to know about him. I want to know. And do this, and I know this is I'm gonna just pre-do this so nobody gets but hurt. I've got 2 other uncles, 2 who came back from Nam. Uncle Jack Mooney, oh, he's the sweetest thing you'll ever meet on life. He'll give you the shirt off his back, but he ain't got a shirt to give you.
Hold on.
With a steel plate in his head. I can see your lips moving, but I can't hear you. Are you there, Jess?
Yeah, I was losing my Wi-Fi and I was trying to get the phone to fix.
Okay, so Uncle Jack came back with a steel plate in his head. He came back, but he didn't come back normal. Uncle Mike came back with memories we're just not going to discuss. I don't know his memory. I do know that he has a scar that runs across his face because he got a machete like all the way, but he's still so handsome. A gold scar that runs across here. He's still handsome.
Scars had character.
Always has
Chicks
been.
totally dig scars.
Yeah. So he was always handsome. But I don't know on your page knows what Puff was in Vietnam, but you can Google it and look it up because I'm not going to explain it. But saved a lot of people's lives because he flew Puff. And you know, I'm just there's so many out there that gave. You know, what was his name? Keith that sold our house in Garland.
Yeah.
I can't remember. What was his last name, Jess? Can you remember his last name?
No.
I can't.
He
had finished his, second tour in Afghanistan in the Marines?
Yeah.
That was one.
That's gonna drive me crazy now because I can't remember his last name.
No, we all called him Eye Candy because he was like so freaking hot. But
yeah, he is
tough. He was tough. I'm gonna tell you, one night in the bar there was some kind of crazy crap that went down. I don't even know what went down, except for the fact that some chick was involved. Mike might know, but I can't remember. Something was involved. A chick that had something to do with Keith, and Keith was wearing a white. And me and Psycho Sin were standing next to the board table, and some chick was starting crap. I have no idea. But Keith put that guy down and didn't even get a drop of blood on his white shirt. And it was just that moment where you're like, don't fuck with a Marine. I mean, what are you doing? Kind of moment. It was a crazy night.
It's really crazy at how many people just try stupid stuff. And I mean, it really makes me laugh my butt off whenever people sit there and get that surprised look when someone takes them down, flips them over, and knocks them on their ass. And it's like, what did you think was going to happen? Like, how did this play out in your head that this was going to work out for you?
Well, because, Keith never went on his sleeve. He never broadcast. He never did. But at the same time, the man is like 6'4", built like a brick shit house, and you think you're going to go fuck with him? Not knowing that he just from Afghanistan? That's a sorry about your bad luck.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, saying his name, I can still remember his face and everything.
He was a super great guy, and I can't remember either.
And that's what's driving me crazy. He really is the sweetest guy. And by his demeanor and everything, you would never think that he was this super tough badass. Looking at him, you would, but when you talked to him and got to know him, you'd be like, man, you're just a big old teddy bear. But then you sit there and see how when people start pushing that button, how he can do that complete 360 and be like, listen, shit's about to get fucked up right now. And I think it was at the Ramblin' Rose. Yeah, because I don't ever remember seeing him at scoreboards. But at the Ramblin' Rose, he never actually had a fight the time that I saw, but there was somebody that you could tell was pushing his button, and his whole face just switched to, shit's about to get real. Shit is about to get real.
No, it was at the Rose that night, because I'll never forget. Keith wasn't the only one that got into a fight, because the girl who started the fight came over and hit Cindy upside the head, right like in the middle of her head with a beer bottle, which threw Cindy back on the shuffleboard table. And I went, I don't know, all I remember is grabbing the girl, and then it took 4 guys to carry me out of the bar because I somehow smashed her face on the floor several times while sitting on her. So it was.
I think a lot of that has to do with the Ramblin' Rose. For it being such a small little dive bar, it kind of attracted a lot of those shit flies, and that's what that girl was. She was a shit fly. She just naturally goes to shit. And so you sit there and you see people like that.
I'm going to say I went to that bar for too long, way too long. But I'm not going to discount that bar. There are good, great, wonderful people.
There's a lot of great people at the bar. But for where it was located, it was kind of like in the middle. You've got this one bar that's in the middle of Saxe, Wiley, Rowlett area.
Rowlett.
And it attracted people of all walks of life. But for 98% of it, there was a lot of great people there. And those people, if you were stranded on the side of the road, they would drop what they were doing to fucking help you out. If you lost your wallet, they'd fucking pay your tab. But then you had that 2% that would come in that would start shit, and you had that 98% that wasn't going to let that shit happen. I did like going to the Ramblin' Rose, but it just came down to the last 3 months that I was going, there was more fights than there were good times. And so I just left and never went back. But I still have friends that go to the Ramblin' Rose.
I had years of the original Rose era. The opening years of the Rose era. So I had that before it got crazy. And I'm going to tell you this, I'd rather go there than to the backstabbing, butthurt, turn on you in a heartbeat crowd of scoreboard.
It's really funny because after I know Troy and I haven't been to Scoreboard since.
Don't mention names. Don't mention names.
Well, no, we haven't been since I was pregnant with Riley. So that's over 4 years ago. But, you know, Troy and I, we don't even, we don't even go to the bars anymore, which is a little, it's good for us because why?
Live on YouTube right now.
Why go to the bar and spend more money when we can just go buy a bottle of alcohol and make our drinks for way less at the house?
Oh, well, yeah. Thank God you and Troy learned that way before Mike and I did.
We don't even drink as much as we used to. Like, we'll make apple pie moonshine, or we'll have whiskey here, or we'll go see our friends and play Cards Against Humanity. But for the most part, we don't drink as much as we used to. We don't go out. We barely see our friends just because we've got kids, and so our kids are small. One, our kids don't understand that mama and daddy have a hangover. But
well, if you remember when my kids were at your kids' age, that's when we all hung out in the front yard.
Yeah, y'all have Margarita Mondays and whatever day of the week it was.
Sundays. Yeah.
Yeah. And my mom got drunk Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, all of that. So, you know. Yeah, Rob D, bars equal trouble and empty pockets. Absolutely.
Yeah, I do believe I got your mother drunk a time or two.
Yeah, really? Someone's going to call me right now? Sorry, everybody. Gotta love when work decides to call you at 4:30 in the afternoon. They can buzz off till later. Between my parents drinking with y'all or Tammy and David, my parents got drunk. But it's interesting to share those stories with you and with mom and dad. I sit there and, you know, we exchange these stories and I'm like, okay, so how did y'all deal with it? And mom's like, you just got to have some V8 because if you're hungover, kids don't understand hangover. You didn't understand hangover. So I'm like, yeah.
No. When you're
okay.
No. You can't be a parent and have a kid understand that. Because some dads too, but especially moms, it's a 24/7 job. Never break. It's 24/7. It's a 24/7 job to be a wife. Unless you have one of those husbands who, okay, I'm old school. I cook every meal. I clean the house. I do the dishes. I do the laundry. And now I'm, you know, in a situation where I have to work and do it all. It just happens. So, but completely off of the topic of Memorial Day.
We went down a rabbit hole. It's okay. Let's dig our way out of this.
Bring it back to where we are, about why we are here for today.
Well, we're here with our...
Not our memory lane, Jesse.
Right? See, this is why I say, when you and I get together, conversations can go all over the place. Starts out one, and you got 50 other conversations that jump in.
Yeah, because we're tons of history.
Right.
But we're going to go back to the history of why we're here. Why we're here. Geez, I had to just back on that. But why we're here actually is, it's in one of my Facebook videos, is I was born what some would consider a Yankee. I consider myself Midwest, still past the Mason-Dixon line. So I was born and raised a Yank, which means all the way back to who fought, died, and lived and didn't or whatever to whenever, I'm related to Sherman. Yes, let's say that. I live, breathe, eat, sleep in the state of Texas, but I am the 5th great granddaughter, something of William Tecumseh Sherman. Am I proud of that fact? No. Was I alive to have a say in that fact? No. There's nothing I can do about the fact that that happened. So, but what I can say is, let's go all the way back to the Civil War. I have 5 generations back, and I'm 50 years old. So, at 50 years old, I can go back nations to know my ancestors that died in the Civil War. How many wars has there been since then?
Pretty many.
Anybody? Just any of your people? Any of them gonna say how many wars there's been?
Hold on, let me throw this to the husband since he's home. Hey.
I mean, I can count.
How many wars have been since the Civil War? How many wars the U.S. has been involved in, or altogether wars all over?
No, just the U.S.
Just the U.S.
Since the Civil War. I mean, I can go the war, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq. I can count how many am I missing? What am I missing in there?
Which one was
we're
Desert
not counting
Storm?
the Revolutionary. That was either Afghanistan or Iraq.
Okay, first time in Iraq. Okay. Rich White says around 9.
Okay, so I'm missing 2.
See, I was thinking like 6 or 7, so I'm missing some.
Well, I got 7. If he says 9, then I'm missing 2.
Hold on. Repeat that one more time, babe. World War One, World War II, Korea, Vietnam.
Well, that's Vietnam.
Persian Gulf.
Oh, Persian Gulf. Yeah.
Yeah, Iraqi freedom.
Non-war that happened, policing action. Where that you've
Rich White says Spanish America, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Kosovo, sorry, Iraq and Afghanistan.
Spanish American.
Grenada.
Well, I didn't go back as
and
far as the
Panama.
Spanish American.
Thank you, Rich White.
Yes, you're awesome, Rick. Thank you. So what is that total, Jess?
Huh? No,
What is that total?
let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Somalia is another one he added.
Okay, so let's go back to the one that actually landed on U.S. soil, which was World War II. When Japan
Yeah, Pearl Harbor was World War II.
II.
Yeah. Oh, World War II is in Alaska.
Hey, so
That's what Rich White. I don't remember it being in Alaska. I remember Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor is not in Alaska.
Yeah, I don't remember, but from what I've read, it was in.
Pearl Harbor was in Honolulu, Hawaii. It was a U.S. state. It was not Alaska.
Not quite sure how to pronounce that word. Hold on. Ah, what happened? Shit.
What is it, Jess?
Dang. How do you pronounce that? Fallujah?
Fallujah. Yeah.
Okay.
Fallujah.
Those are ones I remember anyway. World War II was in Alaska. The Japanese invaded and occupied Aleutians during World War II. I think the Japanese did establish a small base in Alaska. It's the.
No, he's correct. He's correct.
Okay.
Before they went into yes.
Gotcha.
East.
See,
now whoever
this is why
whoever this person is
people
whoever
who
that
rely
person
on
is making me like go back.
Yeah, this is why a lot of like my generation.
Okay, I'm
can't
not
really
going
rely
back to Google.
Okay, you can't
I'm
really
not going
rely.
back to Google. I'm going back to my actual experiences in life and facts that I was taught and people aren't taught anymore.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was
give me
about
a minute
to say.
to get caught back up because
You can't
I'm
rely
kind
on
of
what
old,
the
so I have
teach
to.
because they didn't teach any of that shit when I was in
Now.
high school, even middle school.
But,
and so that's where a lot of the schools are
did
leaving out
teach it to
important
me.
parts of history.
They're not leaving it out. They're just totally fucking erasing it. They're totally erasing it. It doesn't exist. They don't even teach civics. When I graduated high school, You had to have government and you had to have civics. When I graduated high school, we're not going to talk about when that was. Long time ago. So yeah, all of that's gone. But whoever your friend is that's Googling this and pulling it up, kudos.
Rich White is one of the great guys that I have on YouTube. We do a show Saturday night with him and a few others on Unloaded Media, and our chat is called This Week Unloaded.
Thumbs up, big fat thumb from the old woman in the pool. Kudos.
See, this is why I want to have my kids homeschool, because the public school system ain't gonna teach them shit, because they didn't teach me that shit in school.
I would never, not in today's day and age, I would never put my children in public education. And if my children ever have grandchildren, I mean, come on, Jesse, you're the only grandkids I got, and I never get to see them.
Well, hopefully we're gonna have that
just
fixed here in the next couple of months.
Yeah, whatever.
Let us get some shit together.
See my grandbabies. Just so y'all know, yes, Jessie is my daughter. She is. Y'all just don't know this. Her
Rich
mother's
White
beautiful,
says, no Google
but she
here.
looks like me.
Rich White said, no Google here. I was taught this stuff in school.
Yeah, there's more than what he's saying. To prove your point about not learning everything in school. You want to talk wars that just the U.S.
How old White?
Over 10 or 12, just in this time period from 2000 to now, 21st century. Because they've been involved in like the war in Yemen. You know, they've been involved in all these overseas wars. So way more like 40 or 50 wars we've been involved in, or more.
Troy's Googling. He says it's like, since the Civil War, it's like 40 or 50.
Keep it in mind, that's involved, not
we
were at war. Like we're starting the war.
But we've only actually had one.
It's just involvement.
Okay, other than the Civil War, we've only had one on U.S. soil. And I'm not counting this terrorist bullshit. That's not. I mean, it's not actually us being able to go after these freaks that drive cars into shit and bomb fucking nightclubs. I mean, we're talking actual full-on wars on U.S. soil. I can only count two.
And a lot of those wars, too, were like the Native American wars and battles that we had trying to fight.
So that Troy can kind of...
Two major ones, Troy.
What? What?
Two major wars on U.S. soil. I can only count two on U.S. soil.
The Spanish-American War and
Mexican-American. Are you talking about since
okay,
the
that's
Civil War?
three. That I'm negating. I'm negating that. That's three. So it would be the Spanish-American, and then 1776, and then oh wait, that's
Here's
three. Wait a minute. 1, 2 are.
But here's the other question. Are you considering it what is now American soil, or was it American soil at the time of the war?
Well, that's why I'm not counting the Spanish-American War, because I'm counting what did in my lifetime, not prior to my. But I can't do that because also prior to my lifetime was the War of independence. So
yeah. I mean, we only really went full on into war on our own soil, during the Civil War. Now we've had war brought in the Revolutionary War, but if you're talking since Civil War,
I mean, if you're
I
talking,
was talking since the Civil War.
yeah, you're talking that unless you want to start going into all the Indian wars, and then you've got
The War of 1812.
ungodly amounts in the War of
Right.
1812.
Right. I wasn't going. I was only, my reference was from the Civil War on.
Up.
I got you.
Because I wasn't, I wasn't talking about, Texas specifically or any state specifically, just from the Civil War on.
Honestly, I couldn't name it. So,
Hold on.
Google.
I'm not sure what Rob sent me, but I'll have to check that video out in a minute because that looks strange but interesting.
Strange but interesting. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a man or a woman, but they got a kid with a baseball bat in front of them, so I can only imagine how that video is going to go.
Well, that could be homegrown American apple pie and baseball, or
No,
I'm gonna
this
knock your
man
head
or
off.
woman is about to get hit with a baseball bat, it looks like, so and it's going to be some funny stuff. But, yeah. Ain't nothing but a thing. I messed up my nails, so I'm repainting them. Trying to make them dry.
This is going to be probably the most interesting video ever. Kind of squirrels all over the place.
Listen. You see what had happened was. I got a little bit of ADHD or ADD, and I'm unmedicated. So I have a lot of squirrel moments, especially if there's something shiny. Okay? Especially if there's something shiny. That's just how I roll, y'all. That's just how I roll.
You are the child I didn't give birth to, so it's all good.
Yeah, you get to pass that deal of those ain't my genes. Those ain't my genes.
No, some of them I think you actually got somehow. I don't know how they incorporated in there, but
Listen, there are some genes. I don't care what science tells you. There are some genes that are contagious. Okay, they are contagious.
I do think you got some of those contagious genes.
You think?
I will take some of those responsibilities.
That's good because you're partially at fault.
I mean, I've had you since you were 4.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart. You didn't kill me. That's a good parent right there.
Nah, I kind of liked you.
Back at you. Back at you. You's good company.
So
I'm a big fan of yours as well. Man.
Oh hell, I'm a bitch. I know I'm a bitch.
I know, but that's why we get along, because we are outspoken, and yeah, we may have our squirrel moments, but there's a lot of times that when I feel passionately about something, whether it comes across as being a bitch or however somebody wants to take it, if they're going to get butthurt over it, they've got my doll for that. I'm going to call it like I see it. And if you're acting like a freaking snowflake or you're sitting there acting like a twat waffle, I'm going to call you a twat waffle and tell you to suck it up, buttercup. It's time to grow up. And a lot of the people.
See, I don't even get that. Like whole. Okay, since I grew up in the north with actual snowflakes, I never knew, I personally in my life never knew a snowflake that wouldn't fucking fight me to get rid of it. So I have a problem with the term snowflake because really, to me, they're just, I'm going to say it right. We're uncensored. I can say it.
Yeah. There ain't no filter on this
They're
chat.
total fucking pussies. They're total fucking pussies.
That's kind of
Pussies.
where snowflake
Pussies
comes
who
in.
have been,
Because when a little heat comes around, it melts.
No. I've seen snowflakes not melt. I've seen snowdrifts not melt. So I've seen snow drifts stand in the middle of fucking March and April fighting to exist. Snowflakes do not deserve that term.
Neither do pussies, because a life is created.
Well, that's true. That's true too.
And I mean, most of the
true
people,
too. I don't know if there's not an actual term that fits these people. There's
really
not.
Isn't, because you can't even call them douchebags, because even a douchebag is useful and has a purpose. These people are,
there's.
I guess, would you call
unuseful.
them unknown, or that doesn't even fit. Like, I'm a little at ends on what to call people like David Hogg and all of these kids that are let's take away the Second Amendment, and the parents out there, moms against guns and all that other crap.
Idiots, misinformed idiots. They're ignorant. Ignorant is a word. Ignorant is a better term. Snowflakes are stronger than them. They're ignorant. They're stupid. They're unknowledgeable.
But that's where I have a problem with
they're
unknowledgeable,
needy.
because when it comes to education, everyone has the opportunity to educate themselves on what it is with, like, guns, our constitutional rights, anything like that. You can pull up Google, you can get on YouTube, you can find any information out there. But the fact that these people are trying to blame an inanimate object instead of facing the reality that these people that are committing the crimes are people who have evil in their heart. It's easier for them to go blame an inanimate object than it is to take responsibility for what is happening. We are not educating our kids on gun safety. We are not educating our kids on the value of life. We are not educating our kids when it comes to growing up and to become a responsible, decent fucking human being. But we can go push our kids onto 7 different types of medications, or our kids a little hyper because we let them drink Mountain Dew, so let's give them a pill to calm them down. Or here, our kids don't like being bored, so, let's give them this. Let's give them all the technology and all the video games and everything else, and not make them face reality that there's going to be times in your life that you are going to get bored. You are going to have to figure out how to deal with certain situations instead of relying on a pill to fix the problem. I understand that there is a reason for pills, but when doctors are so quick to prescribe a pill instead of finding out what the actual problem is, that's where I have an issue with society. That is where I have an issue with parents. And when it comes to a lot of these kids, a kid breaks their leg or they fracture something, and they're giving these kids addicting freaking prescriptions, and then wonder why the meth rate, cocaine rate, and actual illegal drug, substance, and abuse problem is skyrocketing. You're giving these kids these drugs and you're thinking that it's not going to lead to something more dangerous in life. How does that work?
Well, the fact of the matter is, Jess, this is like me going back to when my son, my oldest son, was in school and they wanted to put him on Ritalin because he was a boy. And oh my God, he's going to jump around. He's got energy. He wants to talk. He wants to move. He doesn't want to sit still. It all comes back to society in a whole. Or, I don't know if you remember, you probably don't. We were in Target in Garland,
where my mama
which
drug me
isn't
out of the
even
store
there
and whooped my
anymore.
ass for their fucking flip-flop.
Yes. And at the same time, I was whipping Shoal's butt in Target, and some woman said, "Call the police." And I said, "Bitch, you better hope they get here before I get to you." So it was like, what the hell? I mean, if your kid's acting bad. I mean, you and Shoal both got your butts beat that day.
I mean, I've been at Walmart with my kids, and my son is acting bad, and I smack his butt or I smack his hand, and someone sits there and opens their mouth and says that they're going to call Child Protective Services on me. Well, unless you want an ass whooping too, you better shut the fuck up and mind your own business, because it's my job to be the parent.
I watched a video on Facebook the other day. This woman, doesn't really matter the color of her skin, okay? But this woman had her out of school for doing something. I'm not even sure what it was. And then she whooped her child for getting kicked out of school for being bad. And her child called CPS on her for whipping her. What? Where are we today in society that CPS would show up at your house for punishing your child for doing fucking wrong? Where did that come from? Who started this shit? I'm not even sure where this shit started. But you know it. Your kids come to my house, I am their gaga. I am not their biological grandmother, but I am their gaga grandmother, just like I was your other mother. I'm going to whip their asses if they screw up. I am going to whip their asses, because the two things this country has gone away from is the Bible and the belt. Because I'm going to tell you, in my era, you fucked up and you heard that belt coming out of your daddy's pants, you were praying to God it didn't hurt as bad as it was going to hurt, because you deserved that whooping because you knew you fucked up. And that whooping, not a beating. It wasn't a beating. It's not something you couldn't get up and walk away from. It wasn't something that you move afterwards. It was a couple whelps across your ass, made you think about, do I really want to do this, or do I want that woman? And do I really want to have this come to Jesus meeting, or do I want to do this? It was always a conscious choice because you knew what you were going to face. That's like, I'm sorry, I'll say it right here, YouTube channel. The time you thought you were big enough to call me a bitch, what happened to you, Jesse Nicole?
I got dragged across some rose bushes, sat on, and smacked around for calling you a bitch.
Did it hurt you? I mean, did it fuck you up for the rest of your life? Did it disembody you to become the woman that you are?
I am not traumatized by any of the ass whoopings I ever received in my life. Even the ones that I got from my dad.
We even called your mother.
Yeah.
We even called your mother, and I told your mother what
Pretty
happened.
sure that she sat there and told you to do it again.
Yes, she did.
Whoop her ass again.
Yeah, but you didn't grow up mental, have an issue, grow up traumatized or dysfunctional because I set on you and smacked you right upside your face for calling me a bitch.
I think that's the problem with a lot of kids, though, is they go most of their life without actually understanding that consequences happen from your actions. And so I'm not going to say that these kids that are shooting up the schools are products of parents not whooping their asses, because I don't know what their situation is. I just know when I was growing up, if I did something wrong, I not only had to deal with getting a butt whooping from my mom, but I had to get one from my dad. And then most likely, if I got one from you or Mike, I got one from my mom and dad too. So it's, when people say that it takes a village, it really does take a village to raise kids. But that's where, when you have people around, kids start to think about what they're going to do.
Well, see, in my generation,
they're not being held responsible for their actions. And a lot of these parents fail to see the signs that there's something wrong with their kid. And parents aren't teaching their kids how to handle bullies. Like you said, if you had a bully, you sat there and stood up for yourself. And I know for a fact, a lot of kids in my high school, they saw a bully. If they weren't being able to take care of themselves, there was someone else around that would stand up to that bully for them. It wasn't one of those. Right. Now, granted, some kids did get picked on, but nobody ever shot up our school, because bullying, it wasn't like it was now. There wasn't all this social media shit, internet cyberbullying crap, but parents were involved.
Wait a minute. Wait, Jess, that's the only difference. Now there is social media, but the fact of the matter is, the kid that's being bullied, even on social media, is not going to the kid that posted it, okay, and saying, I don't want this. Let's work this out. Let's do something. Or the kid that's being bullied is not going to that kid and whooping their asses, because it's just not allowed. It's not allowed. This kid is rated, beaten down. I was bullied. I grew up poor. I grew up nasty. I'm going to tell you, there's a girl. Oh my God. This girl, Linda Greenwood, me. She tortured me in junior high. She tortured me in high school, and I finally fucking confronted her. You know what? After I confronted her, she didn't bully me anymore. Come to find out, the fact, Jesse, Shoal was in first year. I put him in public school, 6th grade. What is that? It wasn't Webb Elementary.
Yeah, Webb Middle School.
Shoal had this boy. Oh, he messed with him all the time. I can't even remember his name. But well, after this kid, I was in office like 5 or 6 times. And nothing happened. Nothing. Sorry, I got distracted by my family and wanting dinner. After that, this kid was Shoal was much larger than this other kid, but this kid kept messing with him. So finally told Shoal, you tell this kid, meet you after school, cross the street. Remember that convenience store? across Arapahoe. Help me out here, Jess. Is it still there?
Yeah, this little store
Well,
is still
we
there.
told him. Okay, we told kid or told Shoal to tell the kid meet him there. Well, this kid had told everybody. His older cousin, who just got out of prison, was going to come and whoop Shoal's butt for his kid. So Mike, Shoal's daddy, shows up across the walkway. There's like, I don't know, 50 kids out there with this grown man who just got out of jail, and the kid who messed with Shoal all the time. And Mike goes up to the grown man. He was 18 or 19, I can't remember, just got out, and said, "You get to take me. But Shoal and him, they get to have their own fight. Nobody else is involved. Not going to call the cops." Mike kept telling the older kid, "Come on, I'll give you the first swing." Nothing happened. Kid wouldn't do it. The kid that wanted to Shoal to be beat up, he knocked him on his ass. And then I couldn't get that kid out of my house. They were best friends after that. It was just,
I think I remember that kid
if you
now.
let the kids, if you let them deal with it, if you make them deal with it, without cops, without, if ass whooped, he would have got his ass whooped. Care would have been over. You know what I mean? It would have been done. But Shoal and that kid, they're going, "Shoal hit him. And Shoal was like, "I don't want to hit him. He hasn't hit me." I mean, it was like the most messed up deal on the planet. And this kid could not even explain why he hated Shoal. He just bullied Shoal because he could, but he had no explanation for it until he got called out on the mat to, like, "I put my kid right in front of you, beat his ass." Didn't happen. He brought some older jail-ridden cousin or whatever to do it. And of course, that didn't happen because I wasn't going to jail-ridden adult beat my son up. So it's like, here, stand up to the grown man, Shoal's dad, and see how that goes, which it didn't. So you call a bully, it won't happen. But today, instead of parents thinking through the situation, because bullies are going through, you don't know why they're bullying your child. Because they might think your child's life is better than their life, but they don't actually fucking know. So they just get something in their head. It doesn't happen until you put the bully one-on-one with that child that they're bullying. It's just, "I'm going to call the cops. I'm going to do this. I'm going to call the school. Let's all just fucking whine about it, but not get to the real goddamn point." And once again, we're off the subject of Memorial Day.
I think everyone can pretty much accept the fact that there's going to be a lot of topics rolling around, and this may end up being a long conversation, but everything makes a complete circle in the end. So we have this day because of those that lost their lives and paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms. And I hope everyone out there understands why today is here. It's not just I get off work, or I don't have to go to school, or I can sit around and get drunk all day, or whatever people assume today is. I hope that they understand that we have this day because people fought for our country and lost their lives. Everyone
to give us this right to have these conversations.
Sorry, you're cutting out. What was that?
It's the right, the freedoms to have these conversations.
Absolutely. And that's kind of the great thing about this country is we get to say what we want. We have the right to bear arms. We have the right to get on the internet and post whatever the hell we want to. We can write in whatever news article we want to write. We can sit there and do whatever we want to do. Doesn't mean it's right to do it, but we have the freedom to do it. So maybe everybody doesn't agree with what we say or they don't agree with how we feel. That's perfectly fine. But people fought for our freedoms to be able to do and say the things that we do. I don't agree with people being able to go stomp on a flag.
Oh, hell no.
That, to me, if I see somebody stomping on a flag or burning a flag or something like that, I will have no problem admitting that I get triggered and I want to whoop some ass. And I will have no problem throat punching or smacking down whatever asshole is disrespecting our flag. That doesn't mean they don't have the right to do it because it's their freedom of speech or whatever lame excuse they want to claim it is. That's fine. But that doesn't stop me from whooping your ass for being so disrespectful.
This is where I think freedom of speech and disrespect become an instant that is discombobulated.
It absolutely is.
I can explain.
Because there is a law that states you cannot destroy a flag. You cannot sit there and disrespect the flag. But I have seen, I can't tell you how many YouTube videos of cops not doing a fucking thing to the people that are burning, pissing, shitting, stomping, whatever it is on a flag.
But Justin, Nicole, if you actually read the entire bylaws of the Constitution, we also are not allowed to wear shirts made out of the flag or shorts made out of anything, clothing. So, that's where you get into that fine line of where does it become disrespect and where does it doesn't become disrespect based on what's actually written. However,
I thought it was you couldn't cut up a flag to turn it into clothes.
Right. I would never, 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 never burn a flag, let a flag touch the ground, or let somebody stand on it.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't. I mean, I would go to jail because if I actually witnessed that in person, I would beat the holy shit out of whoever was doing it.
And that's
then
a
it's
conversation.
catch-22 because
that's a conversation that
it's also okay, go ahead.
That's a conversation that the husband and I have had. When it comes to the flag, I will have no problem going to jail for whooping someone's ass who is being so disrespectful. You hang the flag upside down, that's disrespectful. You sit there and stomp on it, that's disrespectful. And the fact that I've had family members who have served in the military, who've died in the military, I'm not going to let you disrespect something that they fought for. I understand you can think and say whatever the hell makes you feel better, but that's not going to stop me from whooping your ass. And if a cop wants to take me to jail, I'll have no problem telling the judge, yeah, I assaulted that person. They're disrespecting the flag. And if you look it up, that's not something that should be allowed. But since y'all don't want to do your job, I'm going to let that person know that maybe the next time he fucking tries to do it or she tries to do it, there's going to be a bitch like me out there that's going to see it and want to stomp their ass again.
So let's go back to the original reason why we were having this conversation. The original reason why we had this conversation was because what is today? Memorial
Day.
When you have a memory, when you have people who died, for you to think, well, no, you actually do. It's not a thought. You actually have the freedom to do whatever the hell you want to via your constitutional rights to disrespect our flag. So that once again brings me back to how the hell did this society, and thank you for coming back to the original topic.
I try.
How the hell did this society ever come to the point in my lifetime? I cannot believe I've witnessed this in my lifetime. How the hell did this society come to a point where they think it's okay to disrespect our country? I mean, you and I, we live in Texas. How many times do we drive down the road? And okay, I'm going to go back off topic just for a minute. In the States, it's the only state in the whole, the United States, that the Texas flag can be raised at the same level as the American flag. Only state ever in the whole United States. It's the only that can be raised at the same level as the flag of the U.S. How many times do we drive into inner Dallas, Garland, Plano, Mesquite, and see the American flag, the Texas flag, and the Mexican fucking flag flown all at the same level? At car lots, stores, wherever. Okay, does this piss me off? Yes, this pisses me off. Not that I'm anti-Mexican. This is not Mexico. It's not your country. This is America. Texas, the last to secede, the only state in the Union that can still secede from the United States. I mean, California thinks they can, but they can think all day long what they want to because Jerry Brown's an idiot, but they can't. So, Texas is the only one that's actually on the books that can secede from the United States, which means that's why the Texas flag can hang at the same height as the American flag. A lot of you are, this is Jesse's Facebook. You might know it, but my friends up north may not know this. So, it's kind of a different situation. I'm torn between the north and the south on things, but I've been in Texas a hell of a lot longer than I was ever in India, so let's just go with that. I do know Texas history because I have studied it because I live here and I am a Texan with Yankee blood. Suck that up. Deal with it. Sorry, Jess.
It's cool. I've got friends all over the place.
So,
I've even got friends that are not even in this country, so it's awesome. But
the thing that once again we're back to that. Touch my flag. I don't care. Touch it. Deal with it. Love it, because the only reason you get to fucking do it is because somebody died. Somebody died for your right to do that. And then you have these attorneys that want to step in and say, oh, it's their constitutional right. They want to fight for the constitutional right to disrespect our flag, yet they don't appreciate our constitutional rights for the Second Amendment to bear arms. And then they want to fight over our First Amendment freedom. Or let's go to the Fourth Amendment. Going to go ahead and stomp on the Second Amendment. That means they're stomping on our Fourth Amendment. And most people don't even know what any of our amendments are. The Bill of Rights or the Constitution. And most people don't even understand that we're a constitutional republic and we're not a democracy. So how do we change this in our youth? Oh, Jesse's reading all kinds of stuff. I can see it.
I'm sitting here. I'm trying not to mess up my nails again, but I'm really trying to understand how we reach the youth and educate them on why these topics are so important. How do you make a kid? And I will say kid lightly, because even at 21,
say Jesse, say young adults. You're not talking kids. I mean, the kids
I'm
are
not even
being programmed, but
yeah, because I am talking kids and young adults, because my child is 3. He will be 4. He understands the importance of the American flag. My child sees a cop and his eyes light up. He sees a firefighter, his eyes light up. He sees a soldier and his eyes light up, whether it's Marine, Army, Navy, anyone in uniform. My kid already has respect, and I don't understand how parents out there are teaching their kids to be so freaking disrespectful. It really just, it gives me a sick feeling, just for the simple fact that these people are failing society.
failing our country as a whole. You know, I have posted on Facebook everything I could post for Memorial Day and what it was. And you notice one of the pictures I posted was of Riley out here with his flag.
Yes.
And I said the next generation raised right. But how do we get the rest of your generation to raise their kids right? To quit with the I deserve, the I get a trophy. I mean, we read about that high school whose somebody's mother got butthurt because her daughter didn't make the cheerleading team, and now the high school changed their rule to be anybody can be a cheerleader. It's like, you ruined, I mean, where the hell does it come? Once again, let's go back to what today is, where people died, gave up their lives for this country to be a sane constitutional republic. You get what you earn. You work for it. It's not given to you. This is not a monarchy. This is not a democracy. You get what you earn, and somehow we've gotten so off of that path. And I would never. First election I ever got to even vote in, and it was only in middle school, so it didn't count, was between Reagan and Carter. And I voted for Reagan. And oh my God, I lost friends because I didn't vote for Carter. That was in junior high. I was in 6th grade. 6th grade. I'm thinking, and I grew up in a union state, which is democratic. Oh my God, you better vote for those unions. But I also grew up with family members who were union stewards who went on vacations and cruises, and they were having all kinds of union meetings, but do shit for the people who actually need it, because I can account for a time I was very, very ill, and we had 3-story house. If you count the basement, top floor. We all lived in one freaking room. Well, my dad was cut from his groin to his ankle, waiting on the union to make sure Dad had his medical benefits. Thank God we had a fireplace because we had to cook all of our meals in that fireplace, which consisted of a lot of canned green beans and potatoes. And if we were lucky, somebody would donate meat. We did that for one winter in Indiana, which means we're talking 30 below zero sometimes with snow up to your asshole. Because the union wouldn't help my dad. Even though he paid union dues. So, whatever the union was back in the day versus what it is now, they can kiss my ass. I lived through it as a child. Spent an entire winter in one freaking room of my house with three of us kids and my mom and dad. But at the same time, it was probably the best memory I ever had because we didn't have any electricity. We didn't have any phones. There were no cell phones back then. So we entertained ourselves.
There weren't cell phones until, there were, but I didn't get a cell phone until I was 18.
The first cell phone I had, Jess,
was the big, huge brick.
Remember the
Yeah.
No, remember the Jaguar? Remember the phone that was in the Jaguar?
The big, huge brick. Yeah.
But it was like this big, and I couldn't get it a thing to use it. Yeah.
There wasn't really text messaging or Googling something on your phone or anything like that. You called.
Remember the next cell phone I got was in a bag?
Oh.
Yeah. The next phone I got was in a bag that weighed like 50 fucking pounds.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Life has gone crazy.
Well, and
People
sadly,
have gone crazy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Sadly, it's a lot of people. I know that there's a lot of like-minded people out there like us, but a lot of these parents, it seems, and I can't even call it just the millennials, because I know some people that are your age, my mom's age, Barbara's age, that are in this mentality of, my kid can do no wrong, or my kid deserves an A. Well, your kid didn't turn in his homework. He doesn't deserve an A. Or your kid didn't do the project. Or, I'm a big fan of, if my kids forget their project, you're going to take a failing grade, because it's not my job to do your projects for you. It's not my job to do your homework for you. If you don't take it to school, you can turn it in late and take it the next day. But I'm not going to be the parent that drives to school to take my kids their homework or their project or something like that. Kids need to learn how to fail, because any time you can look at any person, whether it's Virgin Mobile or Bill Gates or anyone out there who has succeeded in life, it took a lot of times of failing to get to where they are now. And if you don't fail, you're not learning from anything. And I know that that's probably going to make me sound like one of the shitty parents or super bitch mom, whatever. But your kids have to fail. And when these kids are getting trophies for fucking participating, or a school is sitting there changing their whole deal on cheerleading or whatever sport it is, That's where I have a problem, because if you don't do the work, you don't make the team, you don't strive for greatness. It's just going to be handed to you. And when you get out into the real world, that is not how the real world works. You don't do the fucking effort, or you don't put in the effort, you don't do the job, you get fucking fired, and then you're without a job. Now you got to go find another one. These schools and a lot of these parents are setting their kids up for a huge disappointment, because reality does not fucking work like that. The real world, where everyone has to be a fucking adult, does not work like that. If you don't do your job, your boss is going to get pissed and you're going to get fucking fired.
Wait a minute. I am now working the wonderful world of retail at 50 years old. Not proud of this fact.
I like working retail, but not retail for someone else. That's where it's different. I like retail. I just don't like retail for someone else. If that makes any sense.
Okay, so let me say this. I have one girl who has a YouTube channel who has to go to the bathroom every 30 minutes, and she might be 20, 21 years old. So I've actually followed her to the bathroom. Do what?
I was about to say, does she have a bladder infection, or is she doing a selfie?
She's going to the bathroom to update her YouTube channel, because I have followed her to the bathroom to not hear any bodily functions going on, but she got like a 10-inch long fake fingernails, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I can hear the click, 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 click. Yeah. So, you know, I'm all for entrepreneurship, but not when I'm busting my ass, where she needs to be doing her job, and then I have to cover her job, or somebody else has to cover her job because she's in the bathroom. Business. So, I mean, I'm all about her. I mean, I'm not. I mean, if you're going to start a business, do it. But do it on your time. Not my time, or...
That's the biggest thing, is a lot of these... people need to prioritize. And the biggest thing is her boss needs to tell her that since today you decided to use company time when it wasn't your break and it wasn't your lunch, you get to leave now and you can come back tomorrow and try to do a better job. If she does it again, you can go home and you can come back next week. If she does it again, you're fired. You need to pick your priorities.
Okay. I wish as smart as you to have my own YouTube thing, but I'm going to be your guest on yours.
YouTube's super easy.
It's just...
Okay, so I'm a lazy girl.
You keep telling me that, Jen.
No, I'm serious. Okay, so I'm a lazy girl. I don't do a lot of tags.
You keep telling me that.
I love going live because I don't have to edit. I don't have to do a lot when it comes to going live. You literally get on the computer, start up Google Hangouts, do your event, and then you press start broadcast. You can invite whoever the hell you want, and you have simple conversations like this. Now, when I do...
You keep telling me this. You keep telling me this. And then all the people that I know that are my age... I mean, I know that you've seen, like, Lisa Fager-Sablotny. This is the woman who needs her own. She reposts my stuff. I still just have it in me. I don't know if I can do it. I don't think anybody would follow. So
Okay, so I'm gonna get honest, and I love all of my subscribers. I would not have the channel that I have today if it hadn't been for my subscribers. But it was really just turning on the camera.
I don't even know if I'm a subscriber to you.
That's okay. It's okay. You got to have a YouTube channel or you got to be. I don't know how to explain that, but yeah, you got to be on YouTube to subscribe to people. You don't have to open up a channel.
I'm old.
Do you watch YouTube channels?
I'm old.
Do you watch YouTube channels?
No.
Well, then I'm not going to take offense to it, because if you don't watch YouTube channels, you're not going to be subscribed. But like, the only time you have to have Google Hangouts is if you're wanting to do conversations like this. From my phone, if I wasn't doing a Google Hangout, I would just turn on live and go about it.
I did this just for you, so we could have this conversation about Memorial Day.
Well, I love you. And I know that a lot of my subscribers are probably getting a kick out of it, because we've gone down so many rabbit holes, and they heard about me getting drugged through some rose bushes and getting my ass kicked. But it's a history about me. I've never claimed to be that perfect child. I was the wild child, and
But just so all of Jesse's people know, I've had her since she was 4, and she is my daughter. She's not my daughter spit out of me, and she's my daughter. And I love her parents. I love Colleen. I love Jesse, and both of them know that. Colleen has told Jesse, go talk to your other member. I do know that Troy did ask for Jesse's hand in marriage, but he chose to propose to her in front of me and Mike. So he split the difference very well. He might have also done it in front of them. I don't know. It's not my business, but
no,
he might have done it.
He did ask my dad, and that was a really weird day, because my mom kind of had a feeling about it, and so she's like, "Hey, let's go back here." And so I left, and my dad and Troy were sitting at the breakfast room table, and apparently Troy asked my dad if he could marry me, and my dad was like, you might want to go seek psychiatric help or if you want to marry her or something like that. And it was a weird day, and it was funny about him proposing, because I was just having a really bad week and I didn't want to get out. And he was like, no, we really need to go out, go get dressed, and we'll go to the bar. It'll be okay. We'll be around some good people, and we'll go to the bar. And then we get there, and if I had been the nosy girlfriend, I would have seen that he had been carrying around the ring for about a week, I think is what he said.
You couldn't have missed that ring.
Yeah. So, for most of y'all that don't know, hold on, let me try to get the light. This is the ring that most of y'all know him as Tardot. But yeah, he proposed to me, hold on. He proposed to me with that thing.
Troy comes up to me. Troy came up to me. Not Mike. He didn't even go to Mike. He came to me. And he's like, Shannon, he opens that box and he goes, I want to propose to Jesse. And I said, did you talk I mean, did you ask her parents? He said, I asked Big Jessie. I got Big Jessie's permission. But I can't marry her without your permission. Really?
He's awesome.
I didn't know that we were that. I didn't know that we were that important in your life. So yeah, I was like, oh my god. I looked at Mike. I was like, what? But I was like, yeah. But I do feel that your parents should have been there for the moment that Troy actually got on his knee. Ring. Your parents should have been there. I am very, very grateful that I'm the one that got to be there.
Well, it was really awesome. I loved how we went to, of course, my favorite bar at the time, and still waiting on those videos though, because we're supposed to get some videos.
They're on my old Facebook page.
That's funny.
They're all on my old Facebook page, but psycho crazy bitch that's in those videos.
Yeah, that was probably the funniest thing about that night is you just couldn't shake the crowd, wouldn't go away. Gotta love the crazies. They make an appearance every now and then.
I can still log into that old Facebook page. So that's where they're at.
Are they posted on that page or private?
Do what? What'd you say, Jess?
Crap. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Stop with the duck face.
Yeah. I always bust out with a duck face. I said, are they actually posted on your old Facebook, or are they private on your Facebook?
I don't know.
Oh. What am I going to do with you? Let's see. Sorry, everybody.
Okay, so now we're getting into now we're getting into personal stuff on your live video.
It's all good. It's all good. The good news about it is I can go through here. I can download this live video. Like I can mark it as private and download it and go through and edit it out so it sounds more, like we stuck on topic if you want to post it on your Facebook. Gotta love it.
No, you're supposed to be the one to post it on my Facebook.
Oh, I'll totally post it on your Facebook. That's fine. As soon as we sit there and have it upload to the YouTube. To the YouTubes. I'll sit there and share the link. It's going to be freaking hilarious, though.
I should not be allowed to speak publicly.
Why do you think we don't take you out in public much? I'm just kidding.
I know Shay keeps coming out and asking me for dinner. Mike was
Tell him-
working on shit. Look, these motherfuckers.
Go get a bologna sandwich and call it quits. Quit bothering me. I'm busy. That's what you should tell him.
When I'm at work, they're always eating or doing whatever. But when I'm home, it's my day off. Now they want me to feed them and shit.
Such needy people. I mean, gosh.
How about you motherfuckers feed me?
Right? Where's your steak dinner? Where's your baked potato?
Yeah, it ain't happening.
Hold on. I don't know if people can see that. Ah, not really. There's a picture of me and Troy.
I know. I love that picture.
Awesome. It's one of my favorites. Scrolling through all
I know where-
of this stuff.
Are you on my old Facebook page?
Yeah.
You are, because I know where that picture was.
Yeah. Back in 2015, I told you that you were going to be a grandmother of a little girl one day. Oh, no, that was 2016. Never mind. Oh, I told you Little Miss was going to be here. Only 72 days to go. Damn. Can't believe she's already about to be 2. This is ridiculous. Where did the time go? No, for real, where did the
They
time go?
grow up. It just happens.
Yeah, well, that's bullshit.
I still see you as 4. I still see family pictures when you were a teenager. I mean, really,
Six
Jesse,
Flags.
where did the time go?
I
Yeah.
know. I was 15 and tone. Then I became a mom. Tired. Where did my energy go? For real. Like, I really wish
I
that I
still
could
have
bottle
all
up my
those
kids'
pictures.
energy.
Well, wait till you're my age or your mom's age.
I'm going to do exactly what my parents do to my kids. I'm going to give them all the junk food that they want. I'm going to be like, yep, there you go. You get to have them.
I don't think I'm actually going to have any biological grandchildren.
It's okay. You can totally borrow mine whenever you want. Not the
They
grandchildren,
haven't
but you
seen
can
me.
borrow my kids whenever you want.
Your kids never come and see me.
You can totally drive to where we're at and pick them up. I've got car seats. I'll pack. It'll be fine.
Okay, then I'm going to start stealing my kids.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with it. You can totally have them. Totally. I'll even send you with like a snake bite kit in case, you know, since you're out in BFE. If a snake bites them, they're totally fine. Just get it. We're good. I just made it to 2014. Like, you've got a lot of crap on Facebook. Sheesh. I don't even want to look at mine because I know that I post a lot more crap than this, so. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit on there.
But yeah, I mean, if you're off one day, day before, if you want to sit there and pick them up and have them stay the night, I'm not going to argue with it.
Well, I'm off today and tomorrow. And then, next weekend I'm off for the weekend. Saturday
Okay.
and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
All right. Well, Riley is potty trained. Little Miss is not yet. Riley is potty trained. Okay, I give up. I give up for now. That's just a whole lot of trying to find stuff. And I haven't even made it to December 19th, 2014. That's how far I got.
There's a lot of shit on there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A lot. But I'm not judging. I'm not judging because I know for a fact that I've got a lot of crap on my Facebook. So.
You know, when you get to be my age, yes, there's a reason why you let that shit go. Because sometimes it's just too much shit.
I really wish that I could just take my Facebook. But I don't ever have time to go back and look at Facebook. That's why I like the memories option that they have on Facebook, because I can hop on it. It shows me like the priority stuff of what I posted that day last year and the year before or whatever. That I like. I don't want to have to sit there and
mine has been condensed since I started a new Facebook, and
Yeah.
I don't ever look at the old one. So I have no idea what those memories are but I keep that page because there are a lot of people, a lot of photos on that page of people who are no longer alive. So,
Yeah. Why don't you just download those to your phone?
What?
Why don't you just, like, if you're on your phone, go into that Facebook, go into photos, and download the photos that you want onto the phone.
Jesse, that's like thousands of photos.
Well, you can transfer them to, like, Google Photos.
I don't know how to do that. I'm old.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so me and the kids are going to have to stay the night one weekend just so I can help you out with all the shit. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That's why I keep that page. I mean, look at all the photos of me and you. Day before you married Troy. Look at all those.
I know we had a lot. I had a lot of pull time photos I had to scroll through. That's a lot of memories.
So, for 10 years ago, my 40th birthday party.
We're not going to talk about that night. We're not going to talk about that night.
Oh, just so you know, Christian and his fiance Mia are coming for Christmas.
Aw,
They've already bought their tickets. They bought them in February.
that's awesome.
Don't know where I'm going to put them in my. I don't know where I'm going to put them in my shithole that I can't afford to fix.
There's air up mattresses. It'll be fine.
I've asked Mom and Dad if we can use their camper to put me and Christian in.
That's funny. Okay, so I'm taking a break from scrolling through Facebook because I think I'm getting carpal tunnel trying to go through all your posts. Not really, but
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah. There's a lot.
A lot.
It's like
I'm gonna smoke a cigarette.
10,000 something or other on there.
I just got to December 11th of 2014.
But yeah, the videos are on there of Troy proposing. And the photos.
It's funny because I look back at, all the times that Troy and we hung out for years, 13 years before we ever dated. And we got together, I think it was 2012. And he proposed April 2013, and we got married January 2014. $13 and I haven't scared that guy away.
What?
I said we were best friends for 13 years, and I didn't scare him away. He actually wanted to marry me. Been together and he hasn't been scared off, so yeah, pretty much he's stuck with me now. He was stuck with me when he said I do, so he's just screwed. Got something on my boob. It's weird. Not sure how I did that. Anybody on YouTube, don't judge me. Don't judge me.
It's all free entertainment for somebody.
Pretty much. That's what we do. But yeah, we do. Me and the kids do need to come out there. Right now, it's just not really in the funds for gas, but we'll figure something out.
Look, woman, I live every day not knowing what day my husband's going to be in the hospital. And I have to check if he's breathing when he's home. So, it's just life.
Yep.
But let's go back to the fact that I waited for the men who died for me to exist in this life.
You totally just roboted. What did you say? I don't know if that's on my end or yours.
It's life. I said it's life. I have to check every day if my husband is breathing when he's not in the hospital and he's home. But it's life. And every day I get up, I wouldn't have this life if it wasn't for the men and women who died to give me this life, because it's Memorial Weekend. So, back to our original conversation.
Memorial
Day.
Weekend's over. It's Memorial Day.
So that's it. Life sucks. Deal with it. Do something to better yourself. If not, quit bitching about it. Because I have to check
Always
all
keep
the
striving
time.
for greatness.
I have to check to make sure my husband is breathing when he's laying in bed, if he's home and not in a hospital. But I'm still grateful that he wakes up and that I can say what the hell I want to say because people died for me to say it. So we can leave this conversation on that note. That's how this weekend is.
Great.
Or this day. None of us would be here if it wasn't for the fact that men and women died for us to be here.
Exactly. And everybody, if you have loved ones who have served, go hug them, because a lot of families don't get to hug their family members that didn't come back alive. If you have family, hug them and kiss them and tell them that you love them, because tomorrow's not guaranteed for anybody. And I hope everybody has a great rest of their Memorial Day. I hope all of the families out there who have loved ones fighting for our country are doing well. And you're always in our thoughts and prayers, because I know being a military wife or husband or just a military family, it's a tough job and not a lot of people can do it. And we respect and love you, that whether you're family or you're fighting, y'all are all in this, and we would not be here without any of y'all.
Exactly. Amen. Praise God. Do it.
So, with that, we will cut this chat, and remember 2A every day, and mess up my live stream, y'all, but Tardot locked out, so I'm not sure how to turn this thing off. Bear with me. Take care, and I will see y'all on the next video. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye, y'all.
All right, where'd my mouse? Okay, there it is.